Hello, welcome viewers. This is Major General Neelendra Kumar for the YouTube channel Lex Consilium Foundation in conversation with well-known military author Major General VK Singh for the playlist Going Strong. As you are aware, this playlist we interview and make podcasts on eminent people who have crossed the age of 80 years. I welcome you, sir, and in this conversation, I'll address you as VK. I hope I have your permission. Now,
I can hear you.
today we would talk about one of the very famous military generals of India, Lieutenant General SPP Thorat. Now, about 12 outstanding soldiers of Indian Army, General VK Singh has authored this book that's there in front of you, where he has chronicled the life achievements and contribution of 12 outstanding soldiers of Indian Army as regards their appearance, service and contribution post independence. One of them is General SPP Thorat, who's known as the architect of modern army, Indian army, together with General Cariappa. My question to you is that when Thorat was aspiring to join the military, those days for an entry at Sandhurst, the candidates were interviewed finally by the Viceroy of India. When Thorat went to Viceroy Lord Reading for the interview for his selection at Sandhurst, it is said that during the conversation, the Viceroy smiled. Now, that was something quite unusual because the Viceroy was a very serious person who was not known to smile or laugh, and he had a very serious posture always. Why did it happen?
Okay, this story about Thorat, in 1923 he applied for Sandhurst. So he had, unlike most of the others who had been educated in convent schools and public schools, he had studied in a normal government school. And still he applied. He passed his SSB. It was quite a stringent method, and interviews at various stages. Then he was interviewed by the commander in chief, Lord Birdwood, and then he went to the Viceroy. Now, he was not used to British customs, so he addressed him as Majesty. Actually,
Your Majesty, yeah, Majesty.
Your Majesty, he was overawed
Yes.
by everybody doesn't get to meet the Viceroy. So he was considering his background, education, etc. He was literally overawed and out of respect, he said, Your Majesty. So naturally, the Viceroy smiled and he wished him luck and he said, I hope you make a good officer.
That was something very encouraging, very supportive of the Viceroy. And that surely opened the gates of Sandhurst ultimately for General, at that time, Cadet Thorat. And continuing, I would like you to tell the viewers, it is said that while at Sandhurst, the commandant there was one Major General Cochrane, and Cochrane was said to have remarked that no coward can ever become a successful officer. This you have mentioned in page 125 of your book. I'd like to show it to the viewers again because this is something anybody interested in military history and the leadership of Indian Army should go through this book. Now, this remark of General Cochrane, the commandant at Sandhurst, was never forgotten by General Thorat, and he used to frequently refer to it. Can you just narrate the circumstances under which this statement was made by the commandant of Sandhurst?
You see, while he was at Sandhurst, there was an annual regatta. They have a lake there
Okay.
and canoes. So after the regatta was over, then in the evening they have a proper dinner night. Uh, some mischievous cadets, they went and drowned all the canoes in the lake.
He drowned them in the lake.
Yeah, all the
Okay.
number of cadets were there, just out of mischief. You know, such things are done in the academy. It even happens in NDA.
Not unusual.
Not only unusual. In NDA, a few years back, one cadet climbed the top of Sudan block and planted a flag there.
Yes.
You know, taking a risk.
Quarter deck at the drill square.
Yeah. No, on top of Sudan block, as you know, it's a very big building.
Very tall building. Majestic.
So similarly, this thing was done. Now, in the evening, the daylight, the commandant of he said, "I want to know who were the cadets who have done this, drowning the canoe in the lake." And every hand went up.
All hands went up.
All hands went up, including Thorat's.
Okay.
So the commandant said, "Okay, now that you've done this, now please go and fish out those boats."
Okay.
So everybody went. They spent almost the whole night. It was very cold, they say, it was freezing.
Retrieving, trying to retrieve.
They had to take it out and come back. Then the next day he addressed them and he said, "I knew who are the people who have done it. But I purposely gave you all a chance to own it up yourself. If you had not done so, I would have rusticated cadets who were involved." So then he, said these words that he says, "Remember that when you are commissioned, you will not only be an officer, but an officer and a gentleman.
Okay.
And never you forget the second part of it. That is being a gentleman. Remember
not
that a
forget
person who's
that
afraid
he is
of
a gentleman.
He said, remember that a person who's afraid of telling the truth can never become a good leader." And this thing was embedded in Thorat's mind. Throughout his service, whenever there was a situation in which he thought he need not reveal this, reveal that, he remembered the words of Thorat and he always spoke the truth.
Incidentally, now that you have authored this book and you went through their background and read extensively, which other military leader of India comes to your mind as regards this moral toughness or uprightness, apart from Thorat?
No, there are many of them. In fact, even more
Yes.
about whom I have written. I mean, General Hanuj Singh is there.
Okay.
Nathu Singh is there.
Yes.
Of course, General Chemaya is there. In fact, all of them.
Including Cariappa.
Including Cariappa.
Yes.
In fact, this is one of the reasons for selecting them. I was not so much interested in their victories or who's got more decoration or who's this. I wanted people with qualities,
Yes.
leadership qualities, and who are upright, who are able to stand up for the man. That is one of the reasons for selecting these people.
Now, VK, while we are at this, I'd like you to tell the viewers that this must have been a very tough task for you to identify and select 12 characters for this book that you came up with. Ultimately, what are the qualities? What led you to pick one and sort of overlook somebody else?
You will be surprised. It was a very difficult task. Whenever I consulted lot of officers, those who had served with them as well as others,
Yes.
to give me some inputs. Everybody came up with a suggestion. Why have you not included General Harbakshi? Why have you not included so and so? So I said, भाई वो I'll do it in the next edition if
You are
I
the
get
author,
time.
yes.
हाँ, तो मैंने बोला चलो अभी हो जाने दो उसके बाद 10-5 साल के बाद दूसरा लिखेंगे तब उसमें डाल देंगे उनको
नहीं, लेकिन आपने अपने दिमाग में कुछ क्राइटेरिया रखा होगा कि ये
हाँ
12 लोगों को आपने सेलेक्ट किया.
and the criteria like I said was people who had moral courage in addition to physical courage. Physical
That was
बहुत कम होता है.
quite high in your vision, that
Yes.
quality.
Moral courage, not everybody has.
Yes.
These people had moral courage. They were upright and they stood up for their, uh, for the country, for the regiment, for the men. All these qualities, they are important qualities in a leader. So that was this thing. I started maybe with much more. Finally, in fact, not much more. I started with 6. Then it became 7. Then it became 8. Then it became 10. Finally, it was 11. 11, and my this thing was title was that time was Captain's 11 because
Okay.
the 11 leaders. Then my then signal officer in chief, General Booker, he says, why don't you add General Batra? Signal staff. I said, sir, these are all military leaders. He says, no, I am working on his biography. You just go through his records. After I went through Batra's records, I found he deserved it more than anybody else.
Quite right.
He had such qualities.
Okay, thank you. I move to the next question in this episode. There is an incident that you have narrated on page 127 of the book, where you have recounted that a Pathan had once told General Thorat that he will gladly cut off the head of his wife, but not of Leela's. Now, what was that incident? Leela was the wife of General Thorat. What had actually happened?
Usually, General Thorat's wife was Leela, and she was a doctor. Uh,
Medical
just
doctor.
medical doctor. She had done an MBBS, and just after 2-3 years, he got a posting to a place called Bannu in the northwest frontier. Now, Bannu was actually a family station, no, not family station. On border, there were hardly any families, but he was given permission to bring her, and she did very good work there. It was a very dangerous place for a lady to stay. She started going down, visiting the villages, especially all the ladies who were, in the family way and had diseases. And she became very popular. And one day, Thorat came back in the evening from his office or place of work, and he found that Leela had still not returned. In the morning, she had gone to see a woman
Okay.
who was in labor, and by the evening she had not come back. So he got worried because it was a northwest frontier after all. So, all the men who were working with him,
Yes. It was quite dangerous and risky.
so when she returned, then he said, I was worried that you chaps will kill her. And then those Pathans said, why should we kill her? She is saving our women and our children. If we have to cut somebody's head off, we'll cut yours, not hers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this became very famous, and that showed
Yeah.
even Leela's sort of courage and
Yeah.
bold views that she risked her life, but she knew that she is going to that Pathan village for
Yeah.
a great humanitarian cause.
And Leela continued this even later in life.
Yes.
When he was posted to Delhi and as a senior officer, she started a clinic in her own house. And a lot of people, locals used to come, poor people, and to get treatment. In fact, Rajkumari Amritsar used to be the Minister of Health.
Okay.
And she objected that you can't open your own clinic. This is the government's responsibility. She just ignored her. He said, I will run my clinic.
She was not to be perturbed.
Yes.
Tell me, when you wrote this book, did you get an occasion to meet General Thorat? Talk to him?
Surprisingly, I did, but I was a child those days.
Okay.
My father was in the police. He was posted in Jhansi.
Okay.
In 53, 54. And General Thorat came back from Korea as a divisional commander, 5 day, just 5 day. And he had 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. They were all in the same school as me. That is St. Francis Convent in Jhansi.
In Jhansi?
Jhansi.
Okay.
So, of course, the girls were a little senior, but Yashwant, who was the son, he was a couple of years junior. So, I remember attending a birthday party in his house, in the Flagstaff house.
So you had seen him and you would have got an opportunity to speak to him.
Yes, many years later also I met him in Lucknow.
He had settled down in Kolhapur, I believe.
Yeah, settled down in Kolhapur.
Right. Thank you, visitors, audience, listeners, viewers. Stay with us and this conversation with General VK Singh about General Thorat's life and achievement, what made him so remarkable, would continue. Thank you.